Okay, in this lesson, we're gonna go over alternate interior angles. So first, let's take a look at this word alternate. Where have we heard the word alternate? Now, I've heard it in alternate side parking. That tells me that I have to switch from one side of the street to the other side, right? Depending on the day. So that's what I think about when I hear the word alternate. So let's look at this definition. The definition says, a pair of angles that are between the two lines but across the transversal. So kind of like when I had to move my car from one side of the street to the other side of the street. All right, so that was the definition. And there's a little note. If the two lines are parallel, then that's supposed to say alternate. Then the alternate interior angles are congruent. Let me fix that. So let me read that again. If the two lines are parallel, then the alternate interior angles are congruent. So again, we're dealing with this word interior, right? So let me number my angles here. I have angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, so if I'm dealing with interior, that means that angle 1 goes out, angle 2 goes out, angle 7, angle 8. Why? Because interior means in between these red lines, right? These angles right here, those are my interiors. Now, alternate means across. So, what I tend to do is I'm gonna draw like a little X. Like an X that goes like this. See my X? And that matches the angles, the alternate interior angles. That matches that angle 3 and angle 6, those match. Those are alternate interior angles. And then, I have something red in here already. All right, purple. Angle 4 and angle 5 match. So that's why I draw my X, so that I can see which match. So again, angle 3 and angle 6 are alternate. And angle 4 and angle 5 are alternate. Okay, the ones that are across from each other. Now, since the two red lines is parallel, they are going to be congruent. So angle 3 is congruent to 6 and angle 4 is congruent to 5. I know it seems like a lot, so let's pause and reflect a little on what we just said. So first, interior angles, that means the angles in between the two lines. Alternate means across, so 3 and 6, 4 and 5, across. And since these two red lines are parallel, those alternate interior angles are congruent. So angle 3 is congruent to 6, angle 4 is congruent to 5. So at this point, you can pause the video, take some notes before I move on to my first example. All right, so example number 1. We have these two lines that are parallel, and I know this because of the little symbol. And they gave me angle 50, this angle right here. It's interior because it's in between the two parallel lines. It's not on the outside, right? It's not out here, no. It's on the inside. Now, if I was to draw an X, I would match this angle, this corner, with this corner. That means those are my alternate angles, right? My alternate interior angles. And since these two lines are parallel, they have to be congruent. All right, so let's look at example 2 down here. Again, oh, and I forgot to put, these are parallel. Okay, so again, we're given 125, this angle right here, and this angle is in between the two lines. If we were to make a little X, right, we would say that this corner matches with this corner. So that means those are alternate interior angles. And that little corner down there will also equal 125. It's all about it being across, right? So it's on the other side of the transversal across. All right. You can pause this, take some notes down, visualize it, and reflect on it. Go to the next example. So example 3. First, I want to confirm if these are alternate interior angles. So I have my two parallel lines, and the two angles that I'm given information on are in between those two lines, right? So that means they're interior for sure. Now, are they across from each other? Let me do a little X. Yeah, right? If I make a cross, they connect. If I make an X, sorry, they connect, right? So that means they're alternate interiors. Since they're alternate interior angles and the two lines here are parallel, that means that they're congruent. So we can say 20x plus 3. Let me actually write a little bit lower. So 20x plus 3 is equal to 15x plus 18. They're congruent, that means they're equal to each other. And now I just have to solve for x. So I'm going to do that by moving this 15x over here. When I say move, I don't mean just grab and move. I'm going to use inverse operations. So I'm going to say minus 15x minus 15x. Notice I put it under the 20x because this one is the one that has an x. This 3 don't got an x, so it wouldn't make sense to put it under that. And now this cancels out. And let's say 20x minus 15x, we get 5x. Bring down my plus 3. Bring down my equal sign. Like I said, this cancels out. Bring down my 18. All right, now remember that I want to get the x all by itself. So I'm going to use inverse operations to eliminate that plus 3. So that means minus 3 minus 3. This would cancel out. Then bring down my 5x. And 18 minus 3, we get 15. Now again, we want to get the x all by itself. And when we have a number and a variable like this, it means it's being multiplied. So the opposite would be to divide. So we're going to divide both sides by 5. This will cancel out. And now we get x is equal to 3. And that would be my answer. So again, the procedure was first identify that we have alternate interior angles. They're interior because they're in between the two lines. They're opposite, they're across from each other from the transversal. So that means they're alternate interior angles. And since the two lines are parallel, that means they're congruent. We set this up here, set them equal to each other, and use inverse operations to solve for x. At this point, you can pause the video, take some notes down,